Hello everybody and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you decide to stick around, give a thumbs up, and subscribe. Alright, so today I'm just going to make dinner with you guys because I think maybe that's just the way I'm going to go unless I'm making something different. Typically like 90% of the time for breakfast we are having either oatmeal or eggs and toast. And today we did oatmeal for breakfast, and then we used the leftover bread that we had, the rest of our homemade bread, and eggs, and that's what we did for lunch, was toast and eggs and some grapefruit. So nothing really exciting to share or show. I think that would get old, watching us make oatmeal every day. But we are going to do dinner tonight, and so I wanted to share that with you guys. So dinner tonight, we are going to make some burgers and some tater tots. And I know you're thinking burgers, but when you make everything from scratch, the buns, we're gonna make the buns, we're gonna make the tater tots, you know, just from regular potatoes. And when you do all of that from scratch, it takes it up a notch and makes burger night, I feel like, so much more special, and everybody loves it. I did not record this morning. I already made more mustard and mayonnaise. I did not record that for you guys because I shared that for you on the restocking my fridge video that I made probably a couple weeks ago, a week ago. So that is up if you guys want to see that. The only difference is when I made the mayonnaise today, I used avocado oil instead of grapeseed oil. I will say I like the avocado oil better than the grapeseed oil taste-wise in the mayonnaise. Alright, today is also Halloween, so it is 2:30 and I want to get started making this stuff. I'm going to go on and get the bread going so that we've got the buns. We're going to go on and get the tater tots assembled so that I can pop them in the freezer and just cook them right before we're ready to eat. However, you don't have to put them in the freezer. You could cook them right away if you wanted to, but we're going to pop them in the freezer. I'm not doing any kind of dessert because it's Halloween, so they're going to be candy to be had. As much as I'm saying none of that's allowed, it is Halloween, and Luke and Theo want to go trick-or-treating, and everybody is coming home to take them trick-or-treating, so you might see our special guest again. I'm pretty sure they're coming for trick-or-treat and dinner, so he might be on again, but he will be leaving in the next couple days to go back to Cuba, because that's where he's stationed right now. So alright, that being said, let's go and jump into it. Let's start the bread real quick. Okay, so in this cup right here, I'm going to start with, it's a little over a cup of water. I'm going to end up with 2 cups altogether. And all I'm going to do is, let me see if I can get you down here. I'm going to fill the rest of it with milk. And then I'm going to heat it up in the microwave. Or you could do this over the stovetop if you wanted to. I'm going to heat it up until this is warm, not hot, but warm. Okay, so real quick about bread. You don't have to add the milk if you don't want. If you add milk, and you're going to see me add an egg, and you're going to see me add a little bit of butter, you do not have to add that at all. It just makes it a little softer, a little bit, I say my fancier dough is what I call it. But you do not have to do that. So if money is tight and you're not wanting to put in that extra money as far as having milk, egg, and butter in it, you absolutely do not have to. Also, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. So all you would do is just add a little more olive oil instead of the butter that you're going to see me add. Leave the egg out completely if you wanted to. And instead of milk, just do 2 cups of warm water instead of adding the cup of milk, cup of water. Alright, so we're going to add the milk water mixture. Then we have to feed our yeast. I have just some raw sugar here, but you could add honey if you wanted, or sugar. And then I'm going to add the yeast. There is a tablespoon, a little bit over a tablespoon of yeast. Give it a quick stir. And then we're going to let this just sit and bloom. It takes about 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, depending on the temperature of your house. Okay, so now this is all nice and foamy. See if I can zoom in so you guys can see that. That's called letting it bloom when it gets all nice and foamy like that. All right, let's zoom back out for a minute so you can see. We'll make up the rest of it now. I'm gonna go on and add a teaspoon of salt. It's a hair over, like a heaping teaspoon. Salt is what gives bread most of its flavor. I'm gonna add 1 bit of butter. That's probably about 1/4 cup of melted butter. I'm going to add 1 egg. I'm gonna add a little olive oil, probably about 1½ tablespoons. Tablespoon, 1½, somewhere in there. Bread is, I find, very forgiving. And now I'm gonna start with 4 cups of flour, but I might need 5. When you put an egg in, and it depends on how much oil and liquid and, you know, wet ingredients you put in, depends on how much flour you're gonna need. So I would just start with 4. Sometimes I need 5, sometimes I need 4½, sometimes I need 6. All just depends on how much, because I don't measure exactly each ingredient. So I'm gonna let this just go on low for a minute. And we'll see how it does. All right, so I can see this is definitely still pretty wet. So I'm gonna do another cup in here, so that's 5 cups right now. And I'll let that go and see how that works. Okay, I think 5 cups are gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna let this just knead like this for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. All right, so now this is done. I am just gonna let this sit and cover it for about an hour. It needs to double in size. So it takes about an hour. I just kind of scrape it off the bottom. It's a very sticky dough. All right, we're gonna let that sit for an hour. Okay, so while that's going, we're gonna go on and make the tater tots. Again, I'm gonna make them and put them in the freezer so that way they're just ready to go when we're ready to pop them in some oil. But otherwise, you could just make them when you're ready to eat. Homemade tater tots, I've made them before, and they really don't compare to the store-bought, or the store-bought doesn't compare, I should say, to homemade. They are so much better, and it's just amazing the difference that it makes. So let me show you how to make some homemade tater tots, and it's really not even hard. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel some potatoes. Now I'm gonna use some of our purple potatoes because I thought, how fun for Halloween to have some purple tater tots. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. So I've got some purple and some yellow. These are just from our garden that we grew. I'm gonna peel them, then I'm gonna boil them for about 10 minutes because we don't want them all the way cooked. We just want them soft enough to work with. Okay, once these boil for about 10 minutes, we're gonna take them off the heat and we're just gonna rinse them in some cold water and let them cool off enough to be able to be handled. All right, next all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a box grater and just grate the potatoes. Careful not to burn or cut yourself. Soon as you got it all grated, and I like to do it on a plate just so I can kind of spread out the seasonings and everything a little bit. I'm gonna start with some flour. Just sprinkle a little flour on top. Then I'm gonna do some garlic powder. I'm gonna do some of these freeze-dried chives. Some onion powder. You can add whatever you want to this. The only thing I would say is make sure you go light with the salt because you're gonna put more salt on after you fry it. And then you're just gonna kind of toss this all around so you can get the flour. It's very sticky. Get the flour in there. Get all the spices in there. All right, and then you're just gonna take your tater tot mixture and just turn it into tater tots. And I'm gonna put mine on this paper here because I am going to put it in the freezer until we're ready to fry them. This is definitely a easy meal prep item to make. And that's it. I'm just gonna do that with all of them. Okay, so here's our tray of yummy tater tots, and I love the way the purple looks with it too. We're gonna go pop this into the fridge, or I'm sorry, the freezer, and then I'll get it out as soon as it's time for cooking them up. Okay, next it's time to go back to our bread dough. I'm just gonna punch it down. And then I'm just gonna pinch it off into pieces and just kind of shape it with my hands, kind of into a flat ball. And then what I like to do is I like to just kind of squeeze it up through my fingers, twist the bottom, and that makes it into a nice fluffy bun. And then just flatten it with my palm some. And I'll just do that again. And I'll just do that till all the buns are formed. All right, now I'm just gonna cover these up and let them rise for about another half hour. Okay, while we're waiting on that to rise, I'm gonna go on and put some bacon in the oven. All right, and then I'm just gonna put this on here. I like to put the bacon in the oven. So I'm just gonna bake it. It takes about, I don't know, about 20 minutes maybe. I just check it and I just kind of flip it. You can also twist bacon to make it fit a little bit better, but I think this will be fine. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven and I'll show it to you when we're done. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 pounds of ground beef. I'm just gonna get these packages open. Okay, to this hamburger, I'm gonna add an egg. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Some garlic powder, some pepper, and some diced onion. And then I'm just gonna get in and mix that up with my hands. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the grease from the bacon, but I'm going to bake these in the dish. The pans, I guess, that the bacon was in, so they get that little bit of bacony flavor too. I'm leaving just a little bit of that grease in the pan. All right, and I ended up getting 12 burgers out of this. So I'm gonna put these into the oven. All right, and now our buns are ready. So we are gonna go on and top them with a little bit of an egg wash. It's just an egg that's been beaten. So it's just at room temperature. I'm gonna bake these at 350 degrees until they're nice and golden brown. And then I'm gonna add some sesame seeds to the top. All right, I'm gonna pop these into the oven. All right, here are the buns out of the oven. Okay, so here are the tater tots when they're done. Looking good. Then you just want to salt them a little bit while they're still hot and kind of wet. Yep, that one stuck to the bottom.
Making my costume.
You making a costume? What am I gonna do?
Okay, and then some of this cheese, I'm making a mess. I'm gonna grate onto these burgers. Again, this is just some very sharp cheddar. Really more like a Parmesan tasting almost. Raw cheddar cheese. And now cats are crying. They want in, they want out. They don't know what they want. It's because it is cold, cold, cold today. So they have to make up their mind. Then I'm just going to put this under the broiler for just a minute, just kind of brown it up a little bit and get that cheese nice and melted. Alright, here are the burgers. Now it's just time to assemble. Okay, so I'm just going to do a bun. A burger. And some bacon. And some tomato. A few onions. Lettuce. Then I'm going to do mayonnaise. This mustard, which is very spicy, so you just need a little bit. Goes a long way. And then some ketchup. That is one huge burger. I can keep it on here good. I'm gonna do some tater tots. Yep, it's falling apart. I have to piece it together when you taste test. Carlo's gonna taste test for you guys. And Charles and Ronnie. All right, taste test time. I have 3 people for you. Charles, Ronnie, and Mario.
Yo, Mario!
Happy Halloween.
Yahoo!
All right, what are you guys doing? I guess they're doing tater tots first because Charles grabbed them first. He's not good at this.
Oh my gosh. It was worth starting on.
Everybody's hungry and we got to head out the door in like a few minutes.
That's awesome. Oh wow.
Good, I'm glad. Oh, don't get it all over your glove.
That's why I'm seeing the tips.
All right.
He's giving it the white glove test.
Go.
Exactly. Oh wow.
The buns are really
The buns,
good.
yeah.
I don't know that I have words for it.
Good. We are all starving.
Hell's Kitchen certified.
Well, thank you. I've never seen that show.
That is good.
And what you didn't see is there is some veggies sitting out too. I don't know what we're going to get to because we have to run at 6 o'clock. Trick or treat starts now. So when we trick or treat out here, we have to drive to a neighborhood. So everybody in the country goes to the closest neighborhoods. Oh, there goes Luke. You can go with him. Theo, are you going up? Take him up, Ricky. Go do it. Army man will take you. Good job, baby boy. You got it?
Hey.
What'd you get? Good stuff? Woo! All right, where are we going, bud?
Let's go down this way. Oh my gosh, is that a little army man?
Was this good enough for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 20-minute drive to get to the movie. It was snowing earlier. Go, baby, go. Be careful running, though, on these wet leaves. Hey, Mario, there's Luigi. You found each other.
Represent, man.
Go, baby, go.
What year did he die in? 1927?
Honey, it's just fake. Luke was wanting to go to this house. He thought it looked so cool. It's the disco house, he said.
Come here, Grayson. Watching you, Em.
My taxes.
Okay, guys. Yeah, we're gonna eat real quick and then go, and then we're going to a 7:40 movie. So I told you guys I'd have a video up tonight, but it's not gonna happen because I'm not gonna be back until like 10 o'clock tonight. So we're gonna eat real quick and run out the door, and I'll have this up for you as quick as I can in the morning. Bye, everybody. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and have a great Halloween.